Welcome live here on Checkered Flag Interactive. Steve Bonesteel, Shane Doherty here live in the Checkered Flag Interactive booth for race number 10 of 23 for the CMC Sportsman Series. We're here live from Iowa Speedway as these guys wrap up their qualifying efforts to get down onto the grid for tonight's event here. Again, race number 10 of the season. Things are looking to get pretty exciting here. This is a short track, somewhat similar to Richmond, but at the same time completely different, Shane. So as these guys get down onto the grid in just moments, we get ready to take the green flag.
Yeah, definitely. Iowa's one of those tracks that you really can't compare it to many tracks. It really is its own kind of track. When you come here, you pretty much could agree with me very well. It's got a couple of grooves, but we'll kind of see some drivers shift around as the night goes on. Should see some excellent racing here tonight.
Qualifying and practice sessions throughout the week had very close times, a lot of competitive drivers.
Yeah, Bradley Burke's the pole tonight with Andrew Fash the third on the front row. Those guys barely separated by about 1/100th of a tenth or so, so very close. Indeed, Shane Terrian starts third with Mark Raplow on the outside. Those guys separated by just 1/100th. So those guys very close to each other. We're talking less than inches. Fifth, Joseph Eyes along with Corey Hoover in sixth. Seventh, Andy Glazik along with Bronson Stafford back in the eighth spot. Michael Finlayson starts ninth with Trevor Rapolo rounding out the top 10. Brian Dyson will start 11th with Mike Elliott coming off a good run last week. Will start 12th. Starting 13th, Bradley Grant Davis, into his outside, Bruce Ackerman. Austin Hartenfeld starts deep in the field tonight with Mark Murphy on his outside in 16th. Dalton Alexander will start 17th. Cleaver Camille Gomez will start 18th. 19th will be Michael Thompson, and Julian Boldrin will start 20th. And rounding out the field tonight, 21st spot, Elaine Krasinski.
Pretty slick paint scheme there on the number one machine of Dalton Alexander. Just came out of the Steve Bonesteel paint shop earlier today. Excited to see that CFI machine down on the track.
Yeah, it definitely looks really cool. Dalton hasn't had a new scheme, I don't think, this entire season, so it's cool to see him unveil that car along with several others bringing out some nice cool paint jobs here for the night.
Austin Hartenfeld is the number 29, most notably in the back of the field, along with the number 48 here tonight. We see them there on the tail end of the field. Very strange situation for them. We usually see them towards the top 5.
Yeah, definitely Austin's going to have his work cut out for him, but he's got a lot of laps to run here tonight, 175 of them. So I doubt he'll have any problems coming through the field before this thing is over.
These guys have 2 pace laps here at Iowa Speedway. One of the tougher short tracks with not a lot of banking. I know we just went here not too long ago in the A car, and it was pretty exciting there that week. However, these guys here in the B car, the setup, I drove it a little bit myself earlier this week. It's a little bit tight, and it's going to make for an interesting long run should we have one.
Yeah, that'll be the question. How many runs will we have, if any? It's 175 laps. That's 175 times we have a chance to have a wreck happen. Multiply that by 4, and it comes out to a crazy number. So definitely a lot of opportunities for some wrecks to happen here tonight. Hopefully we don't shake up the standings too much, but you never know what can happen here when you go to a track like Iowa.
Really impressed by Shane Terrian and the number 38 machine there on your screen, as well as Mark Rapolo in the 3 car here, as the pace car will be diving down pit road. This time by the green flag will be going up in the air. The pace car pulls down. We wait on Bradley Burke and Fayosh in the front. We are racing here at Iowa Speedway.
Bradley Burke's going to have the lead out of turns 1 and 2, but good qualifying one from Bradley to grab the pole. Shane Terrian, a second last week in qualifying, started third tonight. He's been looking strong as of lately. Can both of these guys turn out to have a good run tonight? That will be the ultimate question.
Andrew Fayosh getting a little bit loose off of the corner, trying to run up on the leader, Bradley Burke there. He's going to dive it low in 3. Oh, Corey Hoover just slams Marco Polo out of the way. We're going to be 3 wide coming off the corner.
Might have been some net code there. I don't think those guys actually touched side parts of the car, but nonetheless, everyone continues on, and disaster avoided as our leader, Bradley Burke, gets a piece of the wall up 4.
Fayosh is going to go underneath Bradley Burke there in turns 1 and 2. They're going to be going side by side off of the corner. That outside line will prevail here, and you'll see as the run goes on, these guys will probably start to run towards that outside wall, at least in 3 and 4. Maintain some speed there. Shane Terrian in that number 38 Ford Mustang getting a massive run on that front straightaway, coming all the way up to that number 77 machine. Going through 1 and 2, Bradley Burke's got a nice run. He's going to pull away by a couple car lengths going down the back straightaway here. We'll just have to see how Shane Terrian and Andrew Fayosh start to battle it out for that second spot. We'll see how long this lasts.
Yeah, Andy Glazik, Corey Hoover quickly starting to close back in, but Bradley Burke seems like that car has a good chance, and he spins it out and saves it into 1 and 2.
What?
Jinxed him there. It's just getting ready to say that car looks the best it's looked all season, but he makes a crazy save, and that will drop him back outside the top 10. But wow, crazy things happen when you start talking about somebody.
That one is most definitely replay worthy there. You see it on the screen. That number 2 machine is completely sideways.
Speaking of sideways, Mike Tellier goes around out of 4, cautions out for the first time of the evening.
Replay up on your screen. You see the 97 just goes around, coming off the corner, gets a little bit loose, and first caution of the night.
Yeah, definitely. There's a zone when you go into 3 and 4. If you get down there a little bit too low, the car's going to want to spin out. Running down there in previous events, I can tell you, that is not the place to be if your car is a little bit loose off the corner. Mike knows that now, and he'll go ahead and probably move up the next time we get a run here, because you cannot afford to spin out later in this race. Track position is very important in a track like Iowa, where there's few passing with the kind of line they have to run in 3 and 4 up against the wall.
Either way, under our first caution here, 7 laps into this event, Andrew Fayosh taking the lead after the number 2 machine of Bradley Burke got a little bit loose, or a lot of bit loose, on braking entry going into 1 and 2. So with our first chance of the night, we're going to head off to a quick commercial break. Do not go away. Checkered Flag Interactive returns here from Iowa Speedway. Back live here from Iowa Speedway. We are getting set and ready to get the green flag going here in just a moment. We've got the 2 to green this time by. Andrew Fayosh in the lead currently with the number 38, Shane Terrian, sitting in second. You see the top 5 currently on your screen. Fayosh again in first, Terrian in second, And then you've got Andy Glazik up in third with Corey Hoover in fourth, and then Bronson Stafford rounding out the top 5. No number for Andrew Fayash. We got the number package earlier this week for Mr. Ryan Dyson. Good work over at Upper Edge Media. Maybe just a quick lapse in a couple numbers, and we'll have to get that sorted out.
Seems like the cause of the spin with Bradley Burke turns out to be those bumps in 1 and 2. The car's not set up correctly, which I think, Steve, you can speak from more experience because you actually drove this setup a couple days ago. Because if you don't have a good car in turns 1 and 2, it's going to bounce the front end up and down, thus creating unsettlement in the front end. And we saw it there with Bradley Burke going around, lost all grip. And the rear tires turned the car around there. He was able to save it, but that could have been really bad had he had spun back up into the entire field. So he's pretty lucky. He's back there in 13th, but he's got a fast car. I don't expect him to run back there for long.
And apparently it's going to be a very long caution with the 2 to go this time by. The pace car lights will swing off once we go past that start-finish line. We'll get doubled up, and I do believe I've seen this pace car for so long here on iRacing, it's time to get a new one. Do you know if you, like, the people that, like, can replace the pace car scheme like we can a normal car, or what?
That would be a good thing. Obviously, I know they replaced the scheme over the summer, but we've only had 2 pace cars on iRacing. One was the Pontiac Solstice, and I don't even know when they replaced that. I think they replaced that when I got on, which was about 2011. But yeah, we've had the Mustang for a while, and it is the older Mustang, so I mean, it's in the list maybe, but iRacing's currently focused on a lot more things, and eventually I'd say we get a pace car, but probably not now.
At the very least, I'd like to at least be able to change the scheme. It gets kind of boring.
Yeah, that's true. That would be cool. But I guess for now it'll pace the field and get ready to turn off right here.
Yep, the pace car will be making that abrupt left-hand turn. Bradley Burke not in the top 5 after making that huge save. Pace car pulls off, waiting for Fayash to go. We are racing once again here live from Iowa Speedway. Shane Terrian's going to drop right in line with a good start from the number 77. Fayash there's going to head down to the bottom of the track. Looks like he's going to have to check up a little bit on exit. That rear end tried to slide out on him there. Terrian's going to get a little bit of a better run going down into 3 and 4. You see the number 38 running just a titch higher in the corners. That should make tire wear a little bit better for that number 38 machine. So we'll see how that one plays out on the longer run. In 1 and 2, you really see the 38 arc the corner in, and it really seems to be effective. Fayash is taking the more conventional approach and just hitting that apex all the way around. But right now, I'm liking what Shane Terrian's doing.
Yeah, Shane, the higher you run up, the more the car is going to use the less of the right front. I should say they're going to use the right rear more, and that's what Shane's doing right now. Arcing it in there, getting a lot of drive off the corners doing that. It's keeping that right front on the car. You see Andrew Fayash, he did it last lap. This time he does it again. He ducks the car to the middle lane and brings it to the bottom. That loads a lot more weight on the right front of the car. You're going to use your right front up a lot quicker than Shane Terrian running that line, and that's why Shane's probably going to have a faster car in the long run. It's just going to depend on who's the better driver. It's not all car in this instance. Fayash is very experienced at this track. Shane also. It's just going to be up to see who's faster. But right now, those two checking out from the rest of the field.
Looking through the field right now, Austin Hartenfels followed by Mark Murphy. They're really starting to make some gains here already in the top 10 after starting towards the tail end of the top 20. Those guys there, the number 29 and the 48, looking pretty solid early on, as some of the drivers that started towards the front, like the number 3 machine of Mark Ruppolo, seeming to be a little bit slow and maybe a little bit off pace. But Ryan Dyson also now going underneath his RCA teammate there, the number 33 machine of Corey Hoover. He's going to dive it down, taking the Fayash line, and now it looks like Dyson's going to be up on the high side just for a moment, and then the 33 is going to get loose up off the corner. Have to check up just a little bit, but he's going to be clear of the 28 there. Now Ryan's going to go back down to the bottom side, and we'll have to see how this one plays out coming down the front straightaway. They're going to be door to door early on, so I don't think it'll be too much of a fight.
Yeah, Ryan did not get the qualifying run he wanted, but he has come from 11th now into the top 5. All the RCA racing cars are on a move and in a hurry. Every single one of them has gained a spot, or at least a spot, except for Corey Hoover, who started 6th and now runs 6th after being passed by Ryan Dyson. Definitely watch out for those Chevy Camaros. They are coming to the front because here comes Austin Hartenfels as well. He's up to 7th.
All 4 of those machines on the screen right now. Actually, Ryan Dyson almost starting to make a move on Andy Glazik there, and he will make the move. Andy's just going to let him go by, it looks like there. So move Ryan Dyson up another spot.
Yeah, he is making that bottom side work and actually catching your leader while doing that. That is impressive how you can pass cars and still gain on the leader, Andrew Fash, when he's got clean air. Ryan's got a good car. For some reason, he didn't qualify well, but man, he's got some speed I haven't seen out of him in a while.
Still a pretty large group of cars right there. You see Mark Murphy just now working into the picture there in the number 48. Austin Hartenfels now in the mix. Going to look 3 wide in 1 and 2. Corey Hoover will get that run and make it 2 wide there. And now Austin Hartenfels passing his teammate there. And now the 48 getting into this picture. He's going to look to see if he can pick up a position coming off the corner, but he gets loose.
Yeah, definitely not what you want to do there. He saves the car. He'll lose minimal spots. But Ryan Dyson, the fastest car on the racetrack since he got clear of the traffic. He is coming to the front. Going to be someone to watch as this race progresses.
As we hop on board with the number 28 machine, he started 11th in this race, and since then he has not dropped back any lower than 9th position. He's been on a move now, up in that 4th position, 1.7 seconds out from the leader there. And as we ride on the roll bar here, you can see that that gap's getting a little bit smaller, going through 3 and 4 right now. We'll have to see, as he's running just about the same lap times as our leader.
Yeah, definitely that time by got him by a 10th, but Bronson Stafford showing some good speed as well. All these guys starting to reel back in. Andrew Fayash, the 3rd. I think he's back to the bottom. Everyone's back to the bottom, it seems like, up top. Shane Terrian's still using the middle, but looks like that top lane we kind of predicted would work in 3 and 4 isn't really doing that.
We'll have to see how Shane Terrian's line either benefits him or hurts him longer down the run here, but he might be, like you said, in a better position, not putting all the load down onto that right front tire here. Very crucial at Iowa Speedway, as we're 25, now 26 laps into this event. Tire wear is going to be very important. It's going to be roughly, I do believe, a 1 pit stop race chain, or very close to it.
Yeah, definitely. The fact we had a caution to definitely make it to where these guys could probably pit maybe between 90 or 100 laps in and easily make it on fuel. Could even make it even longer than that. So definitely 1 stop. Your tires aren't going to like it, but definitely you can make it on fuel. So it's going to be up to the driver who can save the tires the best and have the fastest car in the long run if we end up going green for a while here. To go on and make up the spots that they are fast enough to get.
Right now, Dalton Alexander making some moves. He just went around the number 32 machine, Justin Monseal there. And Bradley Burke, who was our leader early on, is now in the picture. And it looks like Dalton's trying to take over that position. We'll have to see how that number 1 machine, the CFI-sponsored machine, deals with Bradley Burke here. But it looks like they're running just about the same lap times.
Yeah, these guys are actually not that much off of your leader, Andrew Fayash, the 3rd. In fact, Andrew's really backing up here as of lately. We've got cars running almost 2/10 faster than him on the racetrack right now. Maybe that car getting a little bit of tight for him, and Shane Terrian, Bronson Stafford quickly closing in.
Mark Murphy still trying to work on the number 19 machine of Andy Glazik there. You're going to see him go into that middle line, back it off through the middle of the corner and try and get that run off. And Andy's going to really maintain, though, going down the front straight away, but it's only going to be a matter of time before that Circle Alliance number 48 machine makes a move and takes away that spot.
Kind of funny how all the RCA racing teammates are right next to each other. At least most of them are at the moment. They're about 2 seconds off the leader, literally running right in a line, equal distant to each other. It's just kind of funny what can happen in racing. Literally all of them running pretty much the same pace there.
Battle for the lead heating up, as you said. Fayosh really falling off the pace there. Now Shane Terrian right in the picture, as well as Bronson Stafford. 3-car battle for the lead, 32 laps into this race.
Shane Terrian dives it down in there. Might have dove it down a little bit early, because Andrew Fayosh is going to use the power off the corner and power by, and he will keep that lead as we got a little smoke on the front straightaway. Might have had someone spin out, but we stay green.
Fayosh still running that lower line than those 2 drivers right behind him there. Almost getting up into that outside wall. Shane Terrian, however, has a little bit of a handful behind him with that number 20 Bronson Stafford machine now trying to go around him.
Yeah, I think Bronson Stafford really distracting Shane Terrian right now. I think Shane might have the car to get around Andrew, but he's constantly having to fight Bronson. That's allowing Andrew Fayosh III to pull away ever so slightly now. Seems like all these guys are pretty much equal in pace, but I think that 38 car, Shane Terrian, ultimately has a better car out of these 3.
You are watching the CMC Sportsman Series live here on Checkered Flag Interactive. Steve Bonesteel, Shane Doherty up in the booth as always. 36 laps into this race, currently watching the battle for second.
Bronson Stafford came off a great run last week, or at least it was until he passed the finish line and launched into outer space. It was there, but he's brought a good car nonetheless here for Iowa, and he's coming to the front here in second and challenging for the lead.
Right now, those RCA teammates still battling it out for position. Austin Hartfell's not really improving past that 6th position now that he's taken it. And then Mark Murphy's got his hands full. Andy Glazik looking underneath of him, going into 3 and 4. That number 19 machine all the way down on the lower side of the track, but the number 48 will stay up towards the wall. That's going to allow Joseph Tice to get up in the picture, and we'll have to see here. We've got quite a few cars in this little pack, and this could be one of the more title events of the race for these drivers, and what happens in this pack could determine what's going to happen for the rest of the race.
Yeah, it's by far the closest battle on the racetrack here. Talking about 4th through 9th. You could say are relatively all within the same second bracket of each other. And just kind of riding in a line and not really anybody making any moves. Corey Hoover goes a little bit wide there, but seems like, yeah, Austin Hartenfeld's got up there and he's kind of stalled out. Ryan Dyson got up to 4th, he stalled out. Mark Murphy's up to 7th. I mean, they've all gained spots. But since they got up here into this top 10, almost top 5, they haven't gone anywhere. And they've kind of stayed the same distance away from your leaders. So maybe we get a caution here, get these cars on pit road, then we'll kind of see what these guys got now that they're toward the front.
Looking back up towards the lead, Bronson Stafford, that number 20 Bear machine, still not quite getting around the number 77. That Mustang looks pretty sporty though, and it does look like it might just be a matter of time before he starts to really turn up the heat a little bit more here. 41 now coming to 42 laps into this race. That number 20 machine wants to get some laps led. He is hungry, Shane.
Is there, and he takes a look to the outside, but he is using a lot more arc than Andrew Fayosh III. Will he dive it down in there in the turns 3 and 4? Inside line, he will not dive it in there. He'll let it go and fall back in line. I think Bronson's trying to figure out what he can do to get by Andrew Fayosh III, trying to set him up in some shape or form, but that time he just lets him go, and we'll try again here soon. You
can really see, too, the line that Bronson runs allows for that number 20 machine to really get a nice run onto the back straightaway. And then going into 3 and 4, the number 20 just runs a little bit higher up in the groove. And while that's beneficial on the exit, he kind of runs out of room to take that run. So he kind of just has to stall out for just a moment there, almost making contact bumper to bumper. This is where Andrew Fayosh needs to make some choices, and he needs to decide whether or not he wants to let that number 20 machine go around him or not. If the number 20 really is as fast as I think he is, if he gets around Andrew Fayosh there, he will start to pull away, which could be costly as the race goes on.
Definitely could. Bronson Stafford, I don't think he's led in a dominating fashion, at least not this season in this B car. So definitely we've seen him at speed before, especially in the truck. He's won some races. So definitely it would be nice to see him get up front and see what he can do. Andrew Fayosh III's been leading all the laps here pretty much since he's been in the lead, or at least got to the lead. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see here as this run goes on who's going to have the better car, because they're kind of equal right now, and really no moves can be made there from Bronson Stafford.
Remember, you are watching live on Checkered Flag Interactive. Steve Bonesteel, Shane Doherty up in the booth. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in live here. Tell us how the broadcast looks. Head over to the Twitch chat and give us a shout out. How does it look? How does it sound? What's the frames per second like? Is it looking like it's about 60 for you? Here on Twitch TV, we cannot change what the output is. It's 720p for those of you that might not have the greatest internet connections. Unfortunately, you'll get a little bit of buffering, but here in the coming weeks, we're adding some options to our packages to allow for YouTube broadcasting. So check that out. But this battle for the lead is still heating up big time.
Yeah, it is Bronson. He's got the better car. I think it's pretty safe to say now. Just has nowhere to go with the run, as you said, Steve. Hard to pass here on the long run, especially on older tires. The car, you just cannot get underneath somebody and power off the corner, because the tires are worn down to where they're not able to do that anymore. So if you're Bronson Stafford, you're going to have to force a mistake from Andrew Fayosh III. But, I mean, kind of tough to tell Andrew Fayosh III to make a mistake, but nonetheless, it could happen. And he's right there just in case it does.
We still have ourselves a gollywag of cars, and yes, I just used gollywag. I don't even know if that's a true word, Shane, but the number 19 got up into the wall about 3 or 4 laps ago. Andy Glazik there, he's starting to fall back. Now Bradley Burke cracking back into the top 10 after going around Marco Polo. He's swinging on the outside of Andy Glazik there. He's going to try and pick up that position. He will. So this gaggle of cars still racing neck and neck for about 7th on back, I'd like to say, Shane. We've got about 5-6 cars on your screen.
Yeah, definitely Bradley Burke. That car coming to life here. Here goes to the inside of Joseph Thies in the 9th spot, looking for 8th. Car's come to life. It is the fastest car he's had, I think, this season. Setting on the pole, running well, had that one mistake going over the bumps in turn 1. He just needs to make his way through these guys as quickly as possible, but also cleanly. And I think he'll have a shot here for a top 5 before this thing's over. He's trying to get 2 for 1 now with Austin Hartenfeld.
He's going to go door to door going into 1 and 2. Got to be careful of those bumps. He found out what they can do to you earlier. But the number 29 runs a little too high in the corner there. The 5's going to look to the middle. Joseph Tice is going to think a little bit about it. Going to let off that throttle coming up out of the corner there. Number 2, Bradley Burke, will clear Austin Hartenfeld halfway through the corner. Make a slight slide jump, come up, block that momentum run. Does not look like Austin will try to do anything about it. So now the number 2 machine will set his sights on Mark Murphy and Ryan Dyson. And those two drivers currently having a pretty good battle for 5th right now. Ryan Dyson just cracked up into that top 5 spot, but Mark Murphy in that number 48 machine is not letting off quite yet. 54 laps into this race, we've got ourselves some battles.
Yeah, we definitely do got some guys. Austin Hartenfeld's kind of backing up here as he got up there, and now he's backing up almost in the top 5 and goes down to 8th and possibly getting passed by Joseph Thies here. But definitely starting to see who's been saving their tires, whose car is doing well in the long run. And Bradley Burke, man, he is on a mission. He has pulled all the way up to Mark Murphy and Ryan Dyson, like literally in a couple of laps. So that car is flying right now. Look out for that Autolite Chevy Camaro. It's going to be something to watch here as this race progresses.
Those last 2 times by, Shane, that number 2 machine was the fastest car on track by almost a full 10th. So right now that number 2 Bradley Burke machine, he's got a little bit of ground to make up, but if he can get there, if we stay green or if we have a caution, he might be in a good position to make something happen once he goes down pit road and these guys spread out a little bit there. He's got himself a very sporty looking car as he's going to go to look underneath Mark Murphy there, the number 48 machine. And they're going side by side coming off the corner. It looks like Bradley's going to get the run even on the bottom line as they go side by side down the front straightaway. Now the number 2 is going to dive it down again on the bottom. The number 48 doing a nice job as the number 2 slips up the track. Big time checkup. Got across those bumps and just kind of lost his front steering.
Yeah, the front end kind of got underneath from him, kind of pushed to the wall, had to get out of the throttle. He'll lose some time, but nonetheless, he will have another chance here. That car is fast. It's 175 laps in tonight's event. We're only working lap 58. Plenty of time to go. Not even 100 laps to go still. So definitely a lot of time. If you got a good car, be patient. We got a pit again, so we'll just see exactly when that happens. Who's going to have the best car and the best track position.
Austin Hartenfels, that number 29 machine, still struggling here. A lot of the two of the RCA drivers actually who started up towards the front are now starting to run into some troubles there. The number 5 machine, Joseph Tice, he's not running Andy Glazik in the number 19. And then number 29 of Austin Hartenfels also seeming to struggle a little bit there under fire from Finlayson, as he's going to almost get some contact there coming off the corner. Finlayson's going to think about going to the bottom side. He's going to think about it twice and just back up out of it there, almost getting up into Trevor Rapolo, the number 9. 29 slips up the track, almost gets into Mark Rapolo in the 3 machine, and now that green control freak machine will dive underneath the number 29, and we'll see how Hartenfels does up on that high side. The number 9 is going to drop back right in front of him where he was a few laps ago. So move Trevor Rapolo up into that 9th position and move Austin Hartenfels back another as Finlayson looks underneath of him once again. He's going to get tight up off the corner. He's going to have to drop behind that number 29 Castro machine, but it's only going to be a matter of time, I do believe, before that number 32 machine also gets around Hartenfels there, as Bradley Burke still trying to make his charge back up towards the top 5. He's got about half of a second to chase down on Ryan Dyson for 5th.
Made the pass on Mark Murphy, and he's gained half a second on your leader, Andrew Fayash III, who, by the way, no longer is being challenged by Bronson Stafford. That battle has kind of calmed down at this point, and they've settled in. But Bradley Burke cannot speak enough about that car. Started on the pole, had some early problems there, going over the bumps wrong. He has consistently been the fastest car on the racetrack this entire second half of the run, despite starting in the 13th position on this restart. He's up to 6th, looking for a top 5 here as he dives it down into turn number 3. Not quite enough there, and he'll ride behind Ryan Dyson for the moment being.
64 laps complete on the board. We've got well over 100 to go. Bradley Burke looking like he's the strongest car on track right now, Shane. Ryan Dyson just trying to hold him off here, but it's only going to be a matter of time as they go side by side down the back straightaway, looking to head down into 3 and 4. Side by side, Ryan Dyson's probably should just let him go, but he's going to pinch him down in the corner. Very risky move by Dyson there early on in the race. Probably should just let him go.
He's going to race him hard, but they didn't make contact, and that time he went over the bumps, and the car just did not turn at all, and Ryan has to check up big time, and he might get past from Mark Murphy, and he will not, so at least the pass complete cleanly, but that could have been really bad.
Not really sure what Dyson's deciding to do there. He's going to dive underneath of him, lose that momentum early on. You really just got to let him go. There's no reason to fight like this. Really got to question why they're fighting so hard for that position, because Bradley Burke is just for sure the fastest car in that group.
He is. This 07 car is actually a lap down car. That's Cleaver Camille Gomez out there in the 20th spot right now, so we'll see what he does. He is not on the lead lap.
The number 2 machine's going to dive underneath the 07 there. Should be no competition. Coming up the track, though, he's almost going to make contact. Nothing the 07 did wrong there. However, that's going to allow Dyson to get right back up to the back bumper of that number 2 machine. And really, we've got ourselves a stack up, almost finding trouble. What is the 07 doing? He really just needs to get out of the way.
If you're Bradley Burke, though, you got to go in there. You got to attack the corner entry. You got to let that car know in front of you, hey, I'm faster than you. You're not even on the same lap. You know, get out of my way. Here he comes to the outside, shows the nose. The 07 gives way. There you go. He'll go to the outside. Should complete the pass this time by.
Yeah, I mean, just another one of those things where I'm questioning why the 07's battling for that position. That's not even a position for running order. And the 07 dives it in the corner. What is he doing?
There's a full second. He loses 3 spots and he gets turned. And he saves it. Unbelievable.
Absolutely ridiculous there. If I were an admin, I would be penalizing the 07 for that, at least in my opinion. I mean, when it comes to oval racing and racing in general, I don't believe lap-down cars should have to give the leaders any slack, at least when it's coming to the first couple laps. However, once the leader laps you, I mean, there's no reason to race like that. That was ridiculous right there.
Yeah, Bradley's got some left side damage, and all of a sudden the fastest car on the racetrack's got some more things to worry about. I'm gonna go ahead and credit, though, Bradley Burke for doing that, because there's plenty of drivers, even professional drivers, that would have lost their cool there. He's cool, calm, collective, no rage over the radio. Just maybe realizes that car still has speed, or still a long time to go there. So nice maturity from Bradley Burke, really showing a character, just going out there and just getting back to work, even though he lost a lot of spots.
Top 5 currently on your screen. Andrew Fash, the third in the lead. Bronson Stafford second. Corey Hoover third. Shane Tarian in fourth. And then Mark Murphy rounding out that top 5. 73 laps into this race now. Checkered Flag Interactive's going to head off to a quick commercial break. Do not go away. We'll be back for more, as well as some pit stops coming up pretty quickly here. Do not go away. Back live here from Iowa Speedway, currently watching Bradley Burke after he got knocked into the wall once again, trying to make some positions up after the number 07. The lap down machine ended up getting into him for no reason in turns 1 and 2 there. He's trying to make up those positions, like I said, struggling right now after getting knocked into the wall once again.
Yeah, that car not looking good at the moment. What has gone from really good, and then he spun out, and then he came back, and now it's looking really bad there for Bradley Burke. Not good for him. We got time. We get a caution. He'll get that damage repaired, but I think he really wants to see a yellow flag right now, because he's probably got all kinds of thoughts of where I'd be if I didn't get in that incident.
Pit stop starting to begin here on the raceway. Ryan Dyson dove down under the commercial break. Shane Tarian's on pit road this time by. So currently a couple guys heading down pit road earlier on here. I do believe some of these drivers might try to stretch it, make it to about lap 85 or maybe 90, because then you might be able to make it a two-stop or a one-stop race.
With having that one caution, pretty much I think it was 5 pace laps, these guys are splitting it exactly in half, right down the middle as in terms of green flag laps. They'll do 75 green flag laps now, and then we got a caution on the speedway actually.
And that changes everything. That makes things really complicated for those guys that just went down pit road.
Yeah, I think we got some guys who will stay on the lead lap and make their pit stop. They will go to the front of field and begin the leader, but it looks like the 07 car loses it to truck number 1 with help from Mike Tellier.
Yeah, he had a lot of help from Mike Tellier. Not exactly sure what that was all about there, Shane. He almost actually took out the leader.
Yeah, watching, oh yeah, that was really close actually, and Andrew Fayash, that could have been really bad there. But nonetheless, those guys, I guess, get through it clean after that.
Going on board, you see that 97 going through 3 and 4, just really creaming him in the middle of the corner. I mean, Clever is just, he's way off the pace, and he's just kind of getting in the way, but no excuse either way on Mike Tellier's end for that. Now, who does this hurt, Shane? Well, this hurts Ryan Dyson, Shane Tarian, as well as Andy Glazik, and I do believe they might actually all get the wave by here. However, they'll be towards the tail end of that lead lap. So regardless, at least they're on the lead lap, but they were going to have a lot of positions to make up, and we're going to see if we can't talk with our in-race reporter here, Shane Tarian. Hey Shane, it's Steve up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy, Steve.
Well, you're looking pretty solid right now early on in this event. However, you've got yourself one lap down for the time being. You will probably get the wave by here. How are things going in that number 38 machine so far?
It's going pretty good. I lost a lot of time that last run. Kind of ran out of rubber on my tires, but hopefully this pitting in the consequence doesn't mess me up in this next run here.
We're probably not going to need to have another stop regardless with this caution the way it comes out. Being on the tail end of the longest line basically when you guys get the wave by there, what are your fears going up through the pack, and do you think you're going to have to be extra vigilant working through the field?
I think I'm going to have to be a little cautious. I know I'm quicker on the short one than most of these guys, so I'm going to have to pick my time and try and get up there with a nice clean nose.
Alright, good stuff. Do you have any sponsors, anyone you need to give a shout out to while you're here live on the air?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Evil Controllers and Home Depot riding on Bronson Supercar and Circle Alliance with Mark Murphy, and just pretty much the SDR team and everything that Ryan does for this league as well.
Alright, good stuff. You should be getting the green flag here very shortly. Good luck here on this restart.
Alright, thank you, Steve.
Andrew Fayash has cycled through to be the leader here. Bronson Stafford second, Corey Hoover third, and Mark Murphy fourth. Michael Finlayson in that number 32 machine somehow finding his way up into that top 5. Joseph Tice will sit there in 6th. Mark Rapolo will be there in 7th. Trevor Rapolo sitting there in 9th or 8th in the number 9 machine. And then Dalton Alexander cracking into that top 10 with a little bit of right side damage. That CFI machine looking strong though. As well as Raleigh Grant Davis now towards that top 10. His front nose is, all these cars, their front nose kind of sticks up kind of awkwardly, Shane.
Yeah, definitely. He's got some things to at least consider, get some attention to there. but hopefully he will have a chance to get at least back up toward the field. And really like to see guys who have something bad happen to them come through the field, deal with the adversity, see if he can do that here before this race is over.
Going into this restart, it's going to be a crucial one for those drivers that are towards the back of the pack. We'll have to see how they do here, but all eyes are peeled towards the front of the field, Shane, so I'll turn it over to you for the restart.
Absolutely, pace cars getting ready to pull down. There it goes to the field of Andrew Fayas, third. Green flag's out. We're back racing here at Iowa.
Nice move by Bronson Stafford there in that second spot, trying to make something happen, at least maintain, so nobody jumps underneath of him. He gets sideways in the wall, big time trouble.
Overcorrect, spinning, almost flipping. He might have got a piece of Mark Murphy, hard to tell. But that 20 car is done. Unfortunately, that is unfortunate luck for Bronson Stafford.
Hop on board here with the number 48 machine of Mark Murphy and take a look at what it looked like from the front of his car. You see him, he gets down towards that apron there. He gets sideways, he overcorrects into the wall, he does get that front end. And you see him spinning out the back there, so definitely tough luck for Bronson Stafford.
Yeah, he just once again got in the bumps the wrong way, but overcorrected it too much, and that's what causes the spin.
Really got a feel for him too, having a very strong run earlier on, and definitely not how he wanted to wrap up his night.
Yeah, this is going to be a huge beneficiary to all the wave buys, talking about Shane Terry and Ryan Dyson, Andy Glazik, and others. They took the wave buy, they get to come down pit road and essentially get all their tires and fuel on without losing any spots, and they will have the freshest tires in the field now by about a lap or so, and they will have the chance to come back up through the field now on better tires.
You know, oddly enough, looking at that number 20, he doesn't have all that much damage. He really hit that wall really hard.
He did. I would expect the car to be done. It might have been an iRacing glitch. I don't know, because when I'm looking at it right now, the front end looks perfect, and he nailed the wall head on at over 100 miles an hour. I'm pretty sure that is a damage glitch, but that car, I'm pretty sure, isn't going to run anywhere near at what it was before. So nonetheless, he's going to have some adversity to battle through there.
Tuning into Bronson Stafford's radio channel, what's the damage report there on your number 20 Home Depot Mustang?
Honestly, I can't even tell. I had my teammate check it out, and I think I'm not really sure. I think I just have right side damage. I can't see it. They can't really see it, so I have to figure it out, I think.
How much damage do you have when you're on pit road?
I had 20 seconds of required and 4 minutes of optional, but it doesn't really feel different on the track right now, so we'll have to see. I think I might be down straightaway speed.
Yeah, definitely incredible. You went front end into that wall, Bronson, and to be quite honest, your front end looks almost flawless in comparison to what it should be.
I have no idea what happened. It's weird. I don't know. I just lost it, though. I just flat ran out of talent.
Alright, well, 10-4. Good luck getting that car around here. And, I mean, like I said, to be honest, if I was only looking at the front end of your car, I wouldn't be able to tell anything happened to it.
Yep.
We're getting a 2 to green this time by. We will be getting back to green flag racing here live from Iowa Speedway. Checkered Flag Interactive, Steve Bonesteel, Shane Doherty, as always, bringing the action to you. Most notable, I'd like to say, Austin Hartfells, Andy Glazik, and Ryan Dyson, Shane Terrian, all of those drivers still at the tail end of this group of cars. They did not decide to pit. Actually, Ryan Dyson and Shane Terrian did. However, Austin Hartenfels decided to stay out, as well as Andy Glazik in that number 19.
Yeah, I think maybe that's those guys think they have better car on older tires, maybe. I don't know. They were out there for a little bit, not long, but they still lost a lap, and they got it back, and they're the back half of the field. They obviously elected not to come down pit road just for a personal preference. It's obviously something I think they feel is not necessary for them, and it's their call. But they are all still outside the top 10, and will have a lot of work to do here on this restart.
Just want to thank everybody for tuning in again live on Checkered Flag Interactive every Thursday night. The Upper Edge Racing CMC Sportsman Series brought to you by Crescent Moon Contracting here, Upper Edge Media, as well as Control Freak and more. Check them out on the web, upperedgeracing.com. Getting the green flag this time by this restart is brought to you by Control Freak. If you need a couple gaming accessories for your controllers, head over to controlfreak.com to get those. Pace car will be pulling off. There it goes, Shane. Everyone looks down to the number 77. There we go. He is away. Green flag is in the air. We are back racing lap number 93.
A lot of cars up toward the front because all the strategy and shuffling. Michael Finlayson restarted 30th, third. Corey Hoover and Austin Hartenfeld's Corey Hoover and Andrew Fayash the third, I should say. Got used to saying those two pairs in a row there, but it's actually Corey Hoover and Andrew Fayash the third up there in the front, breaking away from the rest of the field.
Elaine Krasinski in the number 60 machine underneath Trevor Rapolo there for a moment, trying to make something happen. Doldrin Boldrin also up in the picture. Very interesting. Dalton Alexander under fire, though, from the number 16, and there's the number 19 of Andy Glizik.
Finlayson and Thies go around in the front straightaway, starting to interrupt Steve. We don't get a caution. Both of them sustained damage.
That's tough luck there. Finlayson back up on the track, as well as Tice, but both drivers in trouble. Corey Hoover looking strong early on in this little restart here. He's on the back bumper of Andrew Fayash, getting that run off the middle of the corner. It's almost going to look like he's going to go side by side in 3 and 4. Yes, he will, but it looks like that outside line will, of course, prevail.
Yeah, outside, though, hasn't nearly been as strong as we thought it would be here tonight. We think it would be the preferred grove. We got another caution on the racetrack.
Oh man, you got to feel it for Bradley Burke, and now he goes around again on the front straightaway. Caution out.
I think that was one of those reasons where he kind of was losing it and then slowed down to save it and then got tagged from behind and it kind of finished him off there. He'll have some overall not a big deal, and he'll just have to come back down pit road, get some new tires and fuel, and try again.
We're going to head off to a quick commercial break to make sure we give thanks to those who make it happen here at Checkered Flag Interactive. Do not go away. We'll be back from Iowa Speedway in just a moment. Back live here from Iowa Speedway, getting the 1 to go here. Just now getting 75, now 74 laps left of racing left on the board here. Pace car lights are off, the field's doubled up. Take a look at the top 5 here. Currently, you've got Andrew Fash still out in front, Corey Hoover second, Mark Rapolo in third, Trevor Rapolo in fourth, and then, yes, that's Elaine Krasinski sitting there in the number 60 Mustang in fifth.
Yeah, a lot of the guys stayed out there. Elaine was one of the only guys to actually stay up there. Michael Finlayson and Joseph Thies ran into some problems there. See what Elaine and the rest of these guys up here can do is we've got some fast guys still trying to recover from the weight buys they got beforehand. Got stuck a lap down under a bad brake caution. But still, just got a lot of laps to go here. Plenty of time to make your way through the field. Just going to make this restart that much more interesting to watch.
Pace car, of course, will make that abrupt left-hand turn. Green flag will go up in the air in the 77. Everyone looks down to see when he goes. A little bit of a stack up midway through the field. We are green flag racing once again.
Big jump for Andrew Fash. The third as Corey Hoover does not get going there. Mark Rapolo takes a look. But I think Corey's going to make the pass here. He's got a lot faster car. But Andrew Fash, the third, putting together another one of those nights of championship bound because he's leading a lot of laps. I think he'll easily lock up the most laps led if he already hasn't. And that car's going to be tough to beat here. Corey Hoover, one of the guys, at least one of the guys left at this point. It seems like he'll have any chance to win.
Andy Glazik almost fighting himself in big time trouble with a tap to that outside wall. He taps it again going into the corner. Austin Hartfell's Ryan Dyson will dive underneath of him. He's going to be stuck on the high side. There goes the 7. He saves it.
He does save it. He has to go through the grass, but Bruce Ackerman and the Lowe's Chevy Camaro continues on. Stay green.
Back up towards the lead. Just taking a look at this 3-car battle there, Shane.
Yeah, Mark Rapolo and Trevor Rapolo really impressing me, along with Elaine Krasinski and Dulcin Boldrin. They're up near the front. They're occupying spots 3 through 6. And they're holding their ground pretty nicely here against some of these faster guys.
We'll have to see how it plays out for those drivers as the long run continues if we get one, like we did earlier on in the race. However, right now, all 3 of those drivers running pretty competitive times, only about a tenth off of what the faster guys like Fayash and Hoover are running. So these guys sitting about 4th through 6th, they're all in a solid position.
They really are, and it's just going to be up to them to keep their car running straight and just do the best they can. And they should benefit from this positively, as a lot of these guys were running outside the top 15 actually when that caution came out. Now they're inside the top 10. Talking about Lane Krasinski as well. He goes from about 18th up to 5th and running well with that track position. Talking about earlier when Iowa has been considered a track position track. Well, you have the track position, you usually finish well. Speaking of track position, Corey Hoover to the inside of Andrew Fayash the third, looking for the lead.
That battle for the lead heating up over the past 10 laps after the restart. Corey Hoover, that 33 Hunt Brothers Pizza Machine, strong as always by Andrew Fayash in the Omni table machine, just of course looking strong. I mean, he's a pro driver for a reason, Shane, and he's doing a great job out there right now as he does week in and week out, just showing why he's got that black stripe on that number 77.
Yeah, definitely. No one ever asks about Andrew Fayash the third simply because you don't need to. He's really good. He does his job well, and he's always up there in the front end of the field here, showing he's got the talent that it takes to pull in and week out and finish well. So we've got a slow car on the apron there. Riley Grant Davis, we stay green. But Andrew Fayash the third, he's coming to this series here, not racing here before. So far, this is our 10th event of the season. Pretty much in about 8 or so events, with the exception of like 2 of them. One of them they got wrecked. He's been the dominant car. He's led the most laps, and he's taken home quite a few victories here. So we'll see exactly what he can do for the rest of the season. But here is another night where he's putting forth a championship effort.
Very impressed right now with Elaine Krasinski, that number 30 machine, starting to look on improving that number 60's position out on track right now. He has no damage, one of the few cars out there that can state that, and he's looking to take away that 4th position from Trevor Rapolo, and he's coming pretty darn close to doing it.
He really is, and he's doing a nice job up there. He's held his ground, like I said before, and he's kept it clean all night. That's what it takes. Keep your car clean. If you get the track position, absolutely take advantage of it and do the best you can, because you never know if you're going to get that chance again for the rest of the race. Elaine Krasinski, along with a couple other of these guys up front, doing just that.
Dalton Alexander giving a big battle, but having troubles. Checked up in front of him. Now he's going to have to let the number 5 machine around him. Shane Terrian seeming to struggle here on this run. However, that number 5 machine is looking strong, taking the position away. Joseph Dice there in that number 5. A little bit of a new sponsor, same paint scheme on that machine. Trying to take a spot away from the number 38 of Shane Terrian.
Yeah, he's there and he's trying his best, but right now under attack Dalton Alexander there for about the 10th spot, and he's just going to have to hold that on and see what he can do there. He's been having some connection issues throughout the night, but hopefully that will reside, and Joseph can give some good effort here. He's in the top 10, and that's always good when you come out of this place with a top 10 finish.
Number 8 machine trying to go back around Elaine Krasinski there for 5th. However, Austin Hartenfels and the number 28 of Ryan Dyson are right there in the picture as well. So definitely no breathing room for these drivers up towards the top 5 right here. The number 8 or 80 machine, very impressed by him. Ryan Dyson underneath his teammate, almost making contact.
Yeah, they're battling hard there. Ryan's kind of slipping back. These guys really haven't made the ground up that they have needed to make up here. They're still got these guys in front of them that they ran in front of the whole first part of the race. Track position, just speaking it all night, it's really proven dividends here.
Well, we knew going into this race track position would be key, because passing, no matter where and how fast you are, is very tough. Just due to the way this track is laid out, there's only so many ways you can exit the corner. You can run through the middle pretty much anywhere. However, on exit, everything comes together. Bradley Burke trying to make up a lap or so in this picture. He's on the lead lap, trying to make it back towards that top 10 underneath the number 1 machine, as Brian Dyson drops back 2 positions.
Yeah, he does there. He's continuing to struggle, and he's one of those cars, I guess, that might want to caution here. Get a fresher set of tires on there. Might not like the car at the moment. Maybe hit the reset button for that car, and he could have a chance.
Ryan Dyson really struggling right now, as well as Andy Glazik there. That 19 machines all the way back in 14th. Looking back up towards the front of those cars, Austin Hartenfeld still struggling to find a way around the number 8 machine, and it's just not happening right now. And Lane Krasinski is running faster than the leader, it does look like, some of these laps. However, they're still starting to lose some time as they start to battle like this.
Yeah, Dual J Baldwin slips up a little bit there, as well as Shane Terrian. Starting to see a nice line form up there here. Lane Krasinski leading every single one of them right now in the 5th spot. Definitely a lot of cars that are trying to pass, but really don't have that car to at least do it. As here comes Austin Hartenfeld to the inside. Can he make the pass? It just, yeah, can't do it there. The tires are too old. Really just can't get it done there on the inside of 3 and 4.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it's going to be for the rest of the race. It's going to be incredibly tough to make a pass on the bottom unless that guy on the outside line slips up. Coming to 50 laps to go. Well, we are under 50 laps to go already. 49 coming to 48 here. Now that Hartenfeld's tried to make that move, he's kind of lost some momentum there, and that allows those 2 drivers in front of him to start to break away just a little bit, get some breathing room. And this is definitely a career run for those guys right in front of him.
Yeah, definitely. If they can finish this off, that'd be great.
They've got a long ways to go. Dalton Alexander getting squeezed on the outside by Ryan Dyson. That number 1 machine is really coming alive here. Number 5, Joseph Tice, starting to blink a little bit as he makes the pass, though, on Austin Hartenfeld. Impressive move by Tice there to get that position away, but you really got to ask yourself, how is that going to work? Because I don't really know if he's faster than Hartenfeld's there, that number 20 machine. 29 machine, he's been struggling all night long. We've seen it throughout the race. But is he really fast enough to stay in front of him? I mean, just like Ryan Dyson trying to come back on Dalton Alexander as the 5 blinks again, we might see a little bit of a somewhat like a black flag or a blue flag or something to tell Joseph to go on the inside here as that blinking really starts to get bad.
Yeah, definitely not helping him out there, and it's just maybe creating a distraction for others, but at the moment he's starting to make his way back up there, so I guess it's kind of helping him out, and I mean, if it doesn't affect everybody else, I don't see a problem with it.
It's just a line of cars right here. Very impressed, though, like I said, that number 1 machine coming to life, looking pretty fast. However, Ryan Dyson's going to dive back underneath of Dalton Alexander there. Bradley Burke in the background of that image. Ryan Dyson just drives it down into the corner, and eventually I've got a feeling he's going to find himself driving up into the door of someone, and if he's not careful, you got to listen to that spotter, know exactly how much room you have above you to really push it to the limit. I mean, these guys all bottlenecked around Bouldrin and that number 8 machine right in front of him as Hartenfeld almost gets up into the wall. Alexander will clear Ryan for just a moment, but Ryan's going to dive it into 3 and 4. Big time dive, but he's going to have to let out of it there not to get inside of him.
And Dalton Alexander really taking advantage of this stack up here. He's up to 9th, and that car really turning well at the moment. He's got some guys in front of him that are kind of struggling here on this run. We'll see what he can do.
On board with Joseph Tice, he's going to come up on Bronson Stafford in the number 20, have to check up on the outside line. That will allow Austin Hartenfeld to once again make his way around him, move Austin up into 7th place to make something happen there. On board with Joseph Tice with the gyro cam, you can see this place pretty bumpy. Looking back towards the front, haven't missed anything since about lap 90, I'd like to say. Fayash has pulled away to a very solid lead. He's led almost every single lap, by the exception of 3, led by the first 3 of Bradley Burke there before he got sideways in front of the field, so nothing's changed there. Mark Rapolo, 2.6 seconds behind the leader. Trevor Rapolo in 4th, got a ways to make up to that leader. And then Elaine Krasinski in 5th. Doldrin Boldrin there in the number 8. He's sitting there in 6th in front of Austin Hartfels in 7th. Then Joseph Tice trying to hold on, trying to keep that car off the wall. Ryan Dyson making a diving move on Dalton Alexander again. I just don't know how many times he's going to be able to make that move without getting into anyone's side panels or anything like that. They're going to go side by side into 1 and 2. Finlayson in the 3rd. Oh, big time slide job by the 28. A very aggressive move.
Yeah, definitely some of the tires starting to go away for some of these guys. They're trying to push the car beyond the limits that it can do at this point in the run. Creating some good racing, but at the same time, I think you're starting to see guys fall back because their car is just not turning. It's not working for them right now. Starting to see the cars that are handling better try and make their way toward the front.
Finlayson's trying to get back up into that top 10. Another one of those drivers that has a clean car, and there's not many of them out there. He's going to do another little block and move on the number 1 machine. He's going to get blocked in. Dalton Alexander's got Bradley Burke on the inside. That's going to move him up out of the top 10 here with about 30 laps to go. Looking back up, though, Austin Hartfels still not able to make anything happen on Doldrin Boldrin. However, the number 5 machine has dropped in right behind him, trying to take away that 7th position.
Yeah, these guys battling hard all inside the top 10. All these guys have been battling hard for quite some time. And it's just going to come down to it. It's just going to come down to who's going to have the better car at the end of the race, because right now they're all on top of each other and they're all battling pretty much the same spot.
Finlayson in the 32 is the fastest car out on the track right now. And he's got a long ways to go to get up to that leader, but he's doing a hell of a job going around Ryan Dyson there on the inside line, trying to make it happen. That number 32 is flying, Shane.
Yeah, he definitely is, and he's just caught the pack and said, hey, you're not going anywhere, let's just go down to the bottom and create some space, and that's exactly what he's doing. And he goes around the 28, Ryan Dyson, as you said. Here he goes to the 5 of Joseph Fies, the 29 of Austin Hartfels. And that 32 is a rocket ship all of a sudden, gets a little bit squeezed off the corner, and almost some contact there, but we stay green, and here comes Ryan Dyson to the inside.
Dyson's going to make the aggressive move on the inside. Not really seeing the point in it again. Just a lot of aggressive racing here. That is the nature of a short track, and you really can't give anything for one driver without giving something up to another. So definitely you got to understand where they're coming from here, racing the way they are. Nothing wrong with it. Everyone racing clean, and that's truly what matters. However, right now Dyson's got to defend that position from the number 5, Joseph Tice, on the outside line. But looking back up towards the front, Shane, we've got a little bit of things shaping up right now. Corey Hoover running a little bit faster, and by a little I mean absolutely a little bit faster than Andrew Fayosh out in the lead right now with about 30 laps to go as is. Again, this battle for first could start to heat up. Corey Hoover's chopped that gap down by about a quarter of a second over the past 10 laps.
Yeah, he ran exactly almost 100th faster than Andrew Fayosh the third. That's pretty small. And you're talking a couple inches when you do that time by. Though Andrew Fayosh picks it up a little bit more, beats Corey by about half a second, or half a tenth, I should say. That's completely inaccurate, but half a tenth that time by. They're kind of switching back and forth, but I think definitely Corey's going to be someone to watch as this race goes on. Does he have the better car at the end of the run than he did at the start of the run compared to Andrew Fayosh the third?
I got a feeling we're going to get ourselves a pretty big wreck, though, if things start shaping up the way they do in this pack we've been watching for the past 40 laps here. Austin Hartfels on the outside now of Joseph Tice. He's almost getting up into the wall, just a slight wiggle there coming off the corner. Finlayson, however, has moved his way around both of those drivers, and now he's trying to work on the number 60 of Elaine Krasinski, who nobody has been able to pass.
Austin Hartfels in the wall hard there, starting her up, Steve, but that is pretty big news. He's in the wall. He's going to lose a lot of spots.
Yep, a big-time loss there for the number 29, so that's going to just make things worse for that team as he's got the number 97 getting into him almost coming off the corner.
Yeah, definitely there. Not much room to work with, and this huge pack. Everyone's right on top of each other there, and Michael Finlayson, the only car to go right through the entire pack, and he's up to Lane Krasinski, goes by him. He'll set his sights on Dulger Boldrin, but he is the only car that went through that entire pack, was able to separate himself, pull away, and now he's catching these two passing. That car is flying right now.
The problem is, however, for the number 32 Finlayson, he is so far back from the leaders, I don't care if he's running a second faster. I mean, I guess a second faster, he'd find himself up there pretty soon. However, he's not running a second faster. He's only a couple tenths faster. And while that's incredible, he's got a long ways to go. But he just cracked his way up into the top 5, and that alone is incredible.
Yeah, he's still got a chance to get a top 3 here. He's got Mark and Trevor Rapolo not too far behind. Talking about 2 seconds or so, probably a little bit less.
Cars
now.
in the wall. Dalton Alexander.
Cars getting in the wall. Yeah, these tires are giving up. That's pretty obvious to see now. These guys, it's not turning for them. The car is just, there's not enough in that right side, particularly the right front left in the car to get the front end to turn, and they're nailing the wall down simply because it won't turn, and that's just not good for the car, but it's a good indication they have nothing left in that right front.
Yeah, that might simply be why Finlayson's running as fast as he is, still being the fastest car on track right now. He was really off the pace by about a quarter of a second that first little bit of this run, and then he really just picked up the pace, probably due to the amount of tire wear that was done on that car. Just running some very nice lap times out here, being calm around the track, probably did wonders for the tire wear here as we continue to watch this battle for 9th position. Dalton Alexander under fire from the number 28 machine, Ryan Dyson, who's also got Bradley Burke, who was the fastest driver out on track at one point, and the leader, and the pole sitter, I do believe. However, he's struggling right now. However, Elaine Krasinski has now got a challenger from the number 5, Joseph Tice, on the inside line, going into 1 and 2. They're going to be going side by side. It looks like Joseph will get that pass done, and yes, he will. So make that 2 drivers that's been able to make their way around the number 60 machine to crack up into the higher spots there. Big time throwing it in there by both Dalton Alexander and Ryan Dyson. These guys just really duking it out.
Yeah, Dalton gets the beneficiary of the run off the corner of the higher lane, and they are still side by side. See if Ryan can clear him off the corner. Not going to have enough room to slide up in front regardless. There's just not a lot of places to go when the tires are worn here at Iowa. You pick a lane and you just hope for the best. And right now, neither of these guys are able to make any of these lanes work. They're so equal. They're still side by side, neck and neck.
Almost found ourselves a little bit of trouble there. Elaine Krasinski really just fighting himself a little bit slower. Those tires giving up. Dalton Alexander getting squeezed in the middle. There's trouble. There goes the 60.
Yeah, you go through out the corner. Not everybody knew. I knew that would happen, and unfortunately, Lane gets the tough end of the stick there. A caution comes out, and that car goes into the inside wall.
Pulling up the replay there on your screen. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. This changes everything here at Iowa Speedway. Dalton Alexander, really, he had nowhere to go. He was just forced in the middle. Bradley Burke and the 60 kind of came down. Dalton kind of came up. And tough luck for Elaine. Definitely a career run, but again, making heavy front-end contact and no damage.
Yeah, definitely there. I think the car's going to have some effects. Bronson Stafford kind of pulled it behind the wall. He's 10 laps down. Kind of realized that car isn't going to go anywhere for the rest of the night. Nonetheless, the leaders are on pit road here. Underneath 20 laps to go. We'll see what people do.
Earlier today, iRacing updated some of the damage models on iRacing, and I'm afraid I don't think they changed anything on the NASCAR car specifically. However, they might have changed something in the core I&I files, or so whatever the coding is for damage and whatnot. And that could be why we're seeing some of this damage effects being a little bit different here today. Just speculation, of course.
Yeah, the actual updates were to some road cars, most of the GT3 cars, for example, so they can repair more parts of the cars. Andrew Fayas III wins the race off pit road, talking about implementing engine changes, maybe changing some of the brakes on some of these cars, perhaps it would take obviously a long time. Also suspension damage they were talking about, lengthy repairs that they could add to the service. I think they added today in that update. So if you wreck out and your car is toast, it's going to take a while to actually repair the car, but you will eventually have a longer chance to get back in the race. I think that's kind of more suited towards the endurance racing we're seeing in iRacing now, not necessarily for official racing.
Well, while we have a chance here, we're going to take a commercial break. Looking at the top 5, Fayosh still out in front, Hoover second. Mike Tellier with the 2-tire pit stop there moves up into third, Finlayson. Now we've got ourselves a fight. He'll be on the outside line, second row on this restart. Then Mark Rapolo sitting there in 5th. Do not go away. We've got ourselves an exciting finish coming to you here from Iowa Speedway. Back here live from Iowa Speedway, Steve Bonesteel, Shane Doherty, live from the Checkered Flag Interactive booth. This race is brought to you in part by Upper Edge Media. Check them out on the web. Big changes coming for 2015. Head over to upperedgemedia.ca for more details. Web design, car design, graphic design, marketing, management, and so much more. Head over there today if you need information on that. But we're here for the pivotal restart of the race. We're going to have 13 laps to go by the time the green flag gets dropped. Shane, Andrew Fayosh, the driver that's dominated this entire race, has a little bit of competition, not only from the 33, but as well from the number 32 of Finlayson, probably the biggest underdog of this race. Now up in the top 5, but the green flag's out, and Fayosh gets a great restart.
Yeah, Mike Tellier also inside the top 3, and he took 2 tires, as you mentioned before, the brakes team.
3 wide.
He actually bottle ups the entire field there, not good at all. Finlayson's on the way top side, almost up against the wall. Mark Polo also as well, and they still pushing 3 wide, and wow, crazy racing up here. We gotta watch this real quick. A lot of chance, and there goes Tellier around into Dyson. Huge wreck, a lot of RCA cars involved.
Oh, big time trouble, big time trouble, big time trouble.
We got cars in the air, ladies and gentlemen. This is not good, but other than that, this is a huge wreck here from a lot of these guys in the back half of the field taking out.
Yeah, I mean, that's just awful. We'll go on board with number 7 here. You see them right in front of them, 2 and 3 wide abreast. They start wrecking, going slow motion here. Nowhere for him to go, just gets into the front and then gets hit in the back end there. Definite damage glitches going on, though. You can see it on the screen.
Yeah, definitely not putting actual crumbling of the fenders. A lot of these guys got taken out, and it doesn't even look like they got touched. But nonetheless, a lot of cars taken out there. That was at least 2 of the RCA racing cars. I don't know if Andy Glazik got a piece of that or not, but that's definitely unfortunate. But Mike Tellier takes 2 tires and just not under full control of that race car and loses it all for him.
Yeah, you really got to pin that, though, on the number 97, just taking 2 tires and not being able to control that car. A lot of good cars taken out. I mean, we saw cars on the roof and, I mean, all over the place. Unfortunately, Dalton Alexander got up in that. I do believe Riley Grant Davis did, or maybe not. So that's going to change things again here, Shane. We're going to have about 8 laps to go by the time we get the green flag. What do you think are we going to see here on this restart?
I think we'll definitely hope not see that. I think we'll see some good racing. There's a lot of guys up front that haven't been up here in a long time in the last couple of weeks that are here that want the chance to obviously get a good finish. Talking about guys like Mark Murphy, Michael Finlayson, Duljan Boldrin. They're doing a really good job up there inside the top 5 and see what they can do.
I've tuned in to the number 38's radio channel, Shane Terry, and it's Bone Steel up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Well, you found yourself in a couple bad situations here later on in the race, and it all really started when you got caught on pit road and the caution came out under green flag pit stops. Do you think you'll be able to improve your positions at all here with those cars in front of you being damaged?
I'm not sure. I know everybody's trying to make some weird moves here on the starts and just kind of see what happens. I'm not sure how the 4 people in front of me got their spots back after crashing, but I don't know.
iRacing at its best as always. But you've been looking pretty strong, and tell us a little bit about what we might have been seeing here with the damage model. Have you seen any cars get like a massive amount of damage and then you look at them and the fenders are completely back on it?
Yeah, I got my teammate Bronson. He doesn't even look like he has that much damage, but he's really slow. I got Austin in front of me with a lot of damage, and he's still really fast. It's a weird model here on this track. You can get some damage and still run pretty fast.
Yeah, not sure what's going on. It might have something today. I've never really seen it like this before at this track, and I've done plenty of races here, so that's definitely something to look into. But good luck here on this restart. We're going to have about 7 laps to go.
Yeah, thank you, Steve.
That was our in-race reporter.
Yeah, definitely. You can tell there's a lot of hype kind of coming toward now all these drivers that we've gotten later in this race, and you can really start to see that now. The urgent button or the panic button, I guess they're the same thing you could call them. That's been pushed several times by a lot of these guys. They're trying to make cover and they're trying to get up toward the front, and they're just running out of time.
But here we're going to get the green flag and have 7 laps to go. If we get a caution any later than 2 laps after the green flag, that will be it here at Iowa Speedway. Things at the front are going to be pretty tense. Mark Rapolo having a great night. The number 8 machine, he's also up there. Duljan Boldrin, absolutely incredible run for him. So we'll see how this pivotal restart plays out, but a very eventful finish coming to you here from Iowa Speedway live on Checkered Flag Interactive. Steve Bonesteel, Shane Doherty in the booth for the Crescent Moon Contracting Sportsman Series here, brought to you by, of course, CFI, Upper Edge Media, and many more.
Yeah, a lot of sponsors make it happen. Of course, we thank them for everything. They are the reason why you're about to see this finish. As the green flag flies, Andrew Fayash the third with the lead. Now as the head into turn number 1.
Makes that big swooping move there, and Corey Hoover's got the number 3 underneath of him. This could be tense coming off the corner. They're gonna get a little bit loose, and that number 3 machine's gonna have to back up out of it there. Corey Hoover will clear him.
Yeah, he'll set sail to the second spot, watching everybody else behind him though, as there's a lot of cars right on top of each other, trying to make some moves happen. Michael Finlayson's been fast this last part of the race, looking if he can close it out along with Duljan Boldrin. Both cars running inside the top 5 and looking pretty sporty here.
even if Finlayson's not able to get up any further than where he is right now. Very impressive job by that number 32 Mustang crew here today, and I'm sure he will not be disappointed with a 4th place finish.
No, definitely, and he didn't qualify, obviously the greatest. Actually qualified inside the top 10, but he practiced 14, so that car did have some decent speed, but definitely not the speed to run 4th. So he's had a good night, and he's handled the car very well, and minimal scratches, if any, on that car as well. And he's going to be pretty happy, I'd say, with this 5th place finish if he gets it. Well, right now he's in 4th, so top 5 we're talking about.
Taking a peek out the back bumper there of the number 77 of Andrew Fayash. You see the 33, and he's coming, just not quite quick enough. I don't think he's going to be able to get there, Shane. He's got 3 laps to do it, and he's really going to have to pull a hat trick out.
He really is. He's going to have hope for a huge, and I mean a huge mistake from Andrew Fayash III. And I just don't see that happening unless he goes over the bumps in 1 and 2 completely wrong, which could happen, but if it doesn't, I'd say that 77 car is well on his way right now.
Two laps to go here, actually 1.5 or now. Just 1 1/4 as they come off of turn 4 there. Andrew Fayash has about 1/4 of a second of a lead, but Corey Hoover making a big gain off the corner. He's got 1 lap to make it happen. Can he do it here? He drives it into the corner as hard as he can, and he makes a good little run off the corner, but he's not going to quite get there. He's got 1 last corner, unless Fayash makes a mistake here. He will be able to come away the winner.
And they're wrecking for about 5th, and there goes Mark. A lot of wrecks after the checkered flag, or before the checkered flag, but there you go, Andrew Fayash the 3rd.
Big wreck, huge wreck.
We got a bunch of cars after the finish line wrecking here.
Mark Murphy involved, Dalton Alexander piling in after the fact. The number 7 machine just being I don't even want to know what I was about to say right there. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. We'll take a look at the replay.
There were about 3 or 4 different accidents happening at the same time. We had Finlayson turn full around. We had Bradley Burke and other guys get into it there. And I think that's Joseph Nyes as well. Actually, no, that's Trevor Rapolo. So Trevor and Mark Rapolo go around in the final turn. That is tough luck for both.
Pulling up the replay there. A very good battle going on. They were for 4th and 5th, and or actually 5th and 6th, and then Finlayson there in front checked up, and then they checked up behind him. Bradley Burke goes around. Rapolo bounces off the wall. Big time mistake by him. That was entirely number 9's fault by coming down there. He should have locked the brakes down.
Definitely not what you're doing there, but it's the final lap, final turn. These guys are trying to get to the finish line, and tough break for a lot of those guys. That's going to impede the progress of a lot of those guys who were trying to finish well and had to kind of go away there in the final turn.
Results on your screen. Fayash III getting the win again here in the Upper Edge Racing CMC Sportsman Series. Corey Hoover 2nd. Michael Finlayson with career best 3rd. Doldrin Boldrin with the career best 4th. Joseph Tice 5th. Mark Rapolo, even with the big wreck at the end there, 6th. Shane Terry in 7th. Austin Hartenfels 8th. Ryan Dyson 9th. Mark Murphy will finish out the top 10. And then looking Andy Glazik, Michael Thompson, Elaine Krasinski, Bradley Burke, Trevor Rapolo, Bruce Ackerman, Dalton Alexander, Bronson Stafford, Mike Tellier, Relly Grant Davis, and then the final 2 drivers, Gomez and Pummel, rounding out the field. I do believe Pummel was not actually driving. He was one of the administrators here for the night. So impressive racing all the way around, but things are wrapped up here from Iowa. We'll get a chance to get our winner up in the booth here, and we'll get ready to tune it off for the night. Fayash, congratulations on once again getting the win here in the Upper Edge Racing Crescent Moon Contracting Sportsman Series. What was it like those final few laps with those couple cautions at the end there?
Well, it's one of those things you never want to see when you're out front late in the race. It's just, you don't want to see the late cautions because that throws, a monkey wrench into the mix. And I'm just glad that my pit stop went good enough to keep the lead, because it's really tough to pass here, and also, as you guys saw, it's pretty easy for the leader to get away from the group, at least on the restarts anyway. For the first half a lap, you get a good gap on them, and I did not want to have to be on the other side of that late in the race.
Very good. What was your key to the race going into it? I know everyone's got something on their mind. What were you thinking about going into this race that you were thinking about that you knew you had to do to stay out towards the front?
Just saving the tires while running a smooth, consistent line, and with the bumps in turn one, I mean, I got out to a decent cushion of a lead there early, and I mean, I just, the longer we went, the more frustrated I was getting with 1 and 2. I could not find a good way around that corner without just going right through the bumps and hoping that you didn't hit them wrong. I either had to run low to miss them and run slow, or run right through them and hope for the best. And then when Bronson ran me down from back in the pack, I saw what line he was running in 1 and 2, and I switched to it right after he got to me. And after running that for about 5-10 laps, I learned how to run that line properly, and it was so much better. So, you know, you got to adapt. This is one of the few tracks I hate. This track as a short track, just because of the bumps in one. If it wasn't for them, I'd love this place, because it's one of the few tracks that you really do have to search for a line after the tires get heated up. I'm sure you guys saw it, the second to last run. Corey started to gain time on me again, so I changed my line in 3 and 4, and I started to get away from him again. And it's just, you got to search every once in a while here on the long runs.
All right, who do you have to thank for making it happen here tonight?
I want to thank you guys for broadcasting every week, CFI. I did recommend you guys, I mean, granted, I think they were looking into you anyway, but I did recommend you guys to Integrity, which I think you guys struck a deal with, which is cool. But I also got to thank everybody that puts this league on every single week. You know, Upper Edge Racing, it's this week especially was a lot cleaner of a race than I thought it would have been after practice, because it was really tough to pass on, and I thought the racing was going to be a little bit worse than it was, and it was actually pretty awesome. So hats off to those guys for putting on a good league, and it's been getting better every week.
All right, congratulations for getting the win here from Iowa Speedway. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Checking in with our in-race reporter, Shane Terrian's up in the booth.
What's going on, Steve?
Well, you didn't quite get the best finish, and you probably had a top 5 car when things were all said and done, though. You were just outside that top 5, and big-time troubles there on that final lap. Take us through what happened.
Yeah, that last lap, that was a little chaotic. I saw them wrecking. I drove underneath Austin. Didn't mean to door slam him there. I know he's probably not happy about that, but having to dodge Bradley again, just like I did the first wreck he was in. But I'm just glad I got home 7th with not wrecking this week.
Yeah, you definitely had a strong car looking throughout the race, and unfortunately, things just didn't quite work out when things were all said and done. What is the rest of the schedule, at least the next couple races? How do they feel and look like to you? We go to Talladega, then Dover, and then the All-Star Showdown at Charlotte.
Yeah, these next few tracks here are going to be on my good side. I hope I'm really good at Talladega. I know me and Bronson are going to be good. Dover's one of my good ones, and Charlotte, that's actually my favorite track, so I'm looking forward to those next few weeks.
All right, who do you have to thank for making it happen here at the track?
I just want to thank Eagle Controllers and my team, Speeding Racing, and Ryan Dyson for putting on the league every Thursday.
All right, good stuff. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Steve.
All right, Shane, that will wrap things up here from Iowa Speedway. We will see you next time here live on Checkered Flag Interactive. We go to Talladega, race number 11 out of 23 here for their Upper Edge Racing CMC Sportsman Series. We will see you next time.